Good afternoon. Today is the 8th of November and it's time for the first video of this type in beige leather interior. Goodness, there's some Alcantara in here as well, but it's mainly beige leather and wood of the Volvo C70. First video of this type, which is the top 10 best-selling cars, but this is going to be from October 2022. So we've actually had an unexpected development in the past month. The Ford Fiesta again is at the top of the chart. It always used to be, but it's at the top of the chart by 2 registrations. I'll mainly be referring to them as registrations rather than as sales, because sales rather than registrations, because registrations is a very long word to say. Sales is a lot shorter, so we'll just call them sales, even though they are really registrations. So we'll be looking at the breakdown in terms of the power source mix. We'll be looking at the sort of difference between private fleet and business sales, and we'll be comparing all these sales with October 2021. So data has been published quite recently. I think it was published probably yesterday or something like that, and I'm pleased to say that there's been a substantial increase in the sales of new cars in this country compared with October last year. In fact, it's a 26.4% increase, which is absolutely brilliant. Very happy about that. Let's see who that is. No, we don't have to answer that call. Viewers, we can continue. So if we look at the sort of fuel mix, which is the first thing we always look at, there is, a good reason why we don't talk about diesels on this channel, as I say every single time that we do this. And that is because they are a tiny proportion of the market now. They're actually under 5% now. They're under 5% of the market. They're just not relevant anymore to the majority of buyers. Some buyers they are relevant to, and that's absolutely true. There are certain types of vehicles, particularly larger ones, or people who do upwards of sort of 20,000 miles a year, that might make sense for them. But for the majority of new car buyers, it's really a minority choice. And actually the year-on-year change is about 10%. The market share was 6.6%. It's now 4.7% compared with October last year. Petrol, the market share has actually decreased a little bit, but the number of sales has increased. Does that make sense? Because there are 26.4% more cars sold compared with October 2021, you can have a market share that's changed, but the number of cars sold overall can be different. You could have negative one way and positive the other because of the way the mix has changed. So with petrol, last year it was about 48,000 that were sold in October. This year, or rather last month, it's 57,000. So a substantial increase, about 18%. But the market share has decreased from 46% to 42%. With the mild hybrid split fuel ones, which was once a way of getting more from registered, it's working relatively well, but the market share has stayed virtually the same. It was 4.2%, it's now 4.1%. It's actually like within 0.6% of just normal forbidden fuel cars, which is remarkable, really. Percentage change, it's actually gone up. Crazy. It's gone up by 21%, from about 4,500 to 5,500. Who knew? Mild hybrid petrol, that's a lot of cars now. Lots of Volkswagen Group products, Kias, Hyundais, Suzuki's, tons of them. Market share has gone from 12.4% to 15.6%. And the number of cars sold, wow, that's gone from 13,000 to 21,000. That's a 60% increase in mild hybrid petrols. By mild hybrid, I mean the ones that have a little sort of ISG, integrated starter generator, things like the Ford Focus, a lot of the Suzukis, there's loads of others as well. The full hybrid, standard hybrid, some of them call them self-charging hybrid, which is a really stupid name because, like, all hybrids to an extent do charge themselves. It's a very stupid name, which is why I never use it. But the normal hybrids, full hybrids, they've also experienced something of an increase, and it's another big one. The market share has jumped from 8% to 12%, and because of the overall market is up anyway, it's an 82% change. 82%. We love these cars. So some Suzuki's off full hybrid. There's a new Vitara, which is a lot of Toyotas are now. There's a lot of different full hybrids on the market. The numbers have gone from about 8,500 to about 16,000. So huge increase. Plug-in hybrids, it's things like, I don't know, there's a Ford Cougar, it's one of those. MGHS. There's some Fiat. There's loads of plug-in hybrids on the market now, where you have, you know, an electric-only range of normally around 30 to 35 miles, whereas with a full hybrid, you can't plug it in. Can't plug in a mild hybrid. Most you're going to get out of one of those that you can't plug in is about 1 or 2 miles of full electric power normally. But the plug-in hybrids, the market share has gone from 8% to 6.6%, so it is actually down. The number of sales has increased. That's generally because the overall market is up, but it's not keeping pace with the market trend. So the overall increase is only 6%. That's all it is. It's not something stupid like 82%. So plug-in hybrids, maybe that's a temporary thing. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below whether you think plug-in hybrids are going to sort of be the flavour of the day or not in the future. So yeah, number of those sold has gone from 8,400 to 8,900, so a very small increase. Full electric, battery electric, whatever you want to call it. Obviously Teslas, MG ZS-CV, MG5, MG4, Volkswagen ID3, ID4, tons and tons and tons of them now. The market share's not actually increased over last year, which is surprising. There's been a percentage change, of course, the number of sales has increased, but it's below the overall rate of cars sold. So it's 23.4%. A number of cars sold has gone from 16,000 to 20,000, and the market share has gone from about just over 15% to just under 15%. So the growth in electric car sales isn't quite keeping pace with the overall trend of the market, which is very interesting. So let's go on to look at the sales mix between private fleet and business sales. All this data, of course, provided by the Society of Motor Manufacturing Traders, SMMT. Private sales actually have decreased in market share over last year. They've gone from 55% of the market to about 47%, which is the first time I've seen that for a while, actually. So last October, about 58,400 cars were sold in the private sector, and last month was about 62,700. So have we seen a big increase in fleet sales? Why, yes, we have. For the first time in a while, the fleet sector has increased their market share, and it's gone up by 47% in terms of sales, from 46,000 to 68,000, and the market has increased from 43% to 51% it is actually. Private sales have increased about 7%, but not as much as the fleet ones. Even the business sector's massively up, actually. This is unusual. Their market share has gone from 1.7% to 2.8%, but the percentage change in the number of cars sold is 109% up over last year. So much more healthy figures than I'm used to seeing for business sector. That's gone from about 1,800 cars sold to 3,700, which is just crazy, absolutely crazy. I've not seen those figures in a long time. So you tuned into a video about top 10 best-selling cars of October 2022, and so we will go through them. Biggest shock is that the Fiesta, as I've said, is at the top, but it's only by 2. It's 42.30. This won't have been affected by the way of the recent announcement that the Fiesta has been discontinued next year. That won't have been affected by that. That came almost at the end of the month, so there wouldn't have been time to place an order or whatever and get that done. But somehow they beat the Qashqai, the perennial kind of top 5 car, like everything else. Although interestingly, the Qashqai has actually just passed the Corsa as the best-selling car of the year so far. We've got 2 more months anyway, so that might change, but the Corsa's sort of come off the top spot in both the lists now. So first, for last month, the Fiesta 42.30, second the Qashqai 42.28, so it's really close, and then a massive gap. The third best-selling car is the Golf, it's 33.39. Then the Puma. So Ford have got 2 cars in the top 5 now, which is unusual for them actually. That is 32.18. The Corsa is 5th and 5th. I've not seen that for a while. And again, a big gap between the Puma and the Corsa, 27.84. I don't know if Vauxhall having supply issues with the Corsa at the moment or something. I really don't know, but there we go. It's interesting. The Mini in 6th, 25.95, or Mini hatch, because there's lots of other Minis, of course. The Vauxhall Mocha. It's not the first time I've seen that in the top 10, by the way. The new version of the Mocha, as opposed to the previous one, which I haven't tested. I tested the old Mocha, but not this one. 24.44. But the Peugeot 2008, which is very closely related to the Mocha actually. They're on exactly the same platform, as is the Corsa, all the same. The 8th is the 2008, 21.91. Then the Audi A3, a car I've not seen in the top 10 for a really, really long time actually. In 9th, 21.76. It's quite close at this end. And then the Fiat 500 is a car I've never seen in the top 10 in the years I've been doing it. I think I started in 2018 on 21.69. So there we go. Quite a few changes actually this month. So we start as always when we look at the individual manufacturer statistics at A and go down to what it should be Z, but it's actually V for Volvo, who are normally the last ones on the list. So we'll be comparing the sales from last month to October 2021. We'll look at the difference in market share and the percentage change in number of sales. So as always, we start with 2 Stellantis brands, Abarth and Alfa Romeo, and they couldn't be more different in terms of their sort of fortune for last month. Abarth, huge percentage increase. I don't know what it is about this. I can't remember if Abarth is getting some kind of electrified car or something, or if they're just selling sort of variations on the old style Fiat 500 platform that's been around since 2003 with Fiat Panda, although the 500 came in 2007. But nevertheless, that's good for them. Market share has gone from 0.11 to 0.23. Number of cars sold has gone from 114 to 313. And the percentage change is a colossal 175%. So very good. Alfa Romeo, not so good. Unlike a lot of other manufacturers, they've had a decline. It's a substantial one. It's 28%. Their market share has gone from 0.14 to 0.08. Number of cars sold has gone from 146 to 105. Alpine, very, very small change. I'm not even going to bother sort of repeating this because they're below 20 in both cases, so not the sort of biggest numbers really. Audi though, traditionally quite a popular brand in this country. Audi and BMW are some of the most popular brands in this country actually. And Audi sold last month more than 10,000 cars in this country. If you think that Audis are in some way kind of sort of a bit apart or something like that, I'm afraid that's quite wrong. They are very, very common cars in this country. It's not to say they're not bad cars particularly, but they're not rare or special in that way. They're expensive, but they're not rare or special particularly. Percentage change though is very healthy sales. There's 49% increase on last year. The market share has gone from 6.4 to 7.6. A number of cars sold was just under 7,000. That's just over 10,000. Bentley, another member of the Volkswagen Group, they've had even more of an increase than Audi in terms of the percentage, but obviously the number of cars sold has gone from 92 to 141, so a lot fewer. But the market share has gone to 0.1 from 0.09, and it's a 53% increase. BMW, again, a very big seller in this country. They sold lots of cars over here, but again, not particularly sort of rare or sort of special when you see one, because they sold 9,000 cars last month, so that's quite a lot. That's more than 3 times the number of Citroën sold in this country, so there you go. That sort of puts it into perspective, doesn't it, really? So yes, 9,200 cars sold. Last October was about 7,800. Percentage of the market actually decreased a little bit, from 7.3 to 6.9, but number of cars in terms of percentage has gone up by 18.3%. But because the market overall is up by about 24.6, it doesn't quite keep pace. Same with Citroën. They haven't quite kept pace, although they've had an increase. The number of cars sold has gone from 2,300 to 2,800. The market share, though, has dropped from 2.15 to 2.07, and the percentage increase is about 21.4. Cupra, quite a new brand in this country. Lots of sporty Seats and other stuff. Their market share has increased quite a lot, though. It's gone from 0.7% to 1.2%. And percentage increase number of cars sold is 105%. They've gone from 750 cars sold to over 1,500, so that's very impressive. Dacia, a brand that we very much like in this country, a very much a growing brand. They sold more cars than Cupra. They sold just under 1,800. Last October was about 1,300, and it's a 35% increase, so more than the norm. So their market share has increased from 1.24 to 1.32. DS, they've had an absolutely amazing month. Rather like Abarth, they are a brand of Stellantis that's not particularly popular or maybe even that well known. But they have had a 439% increase in their sales. Their market share has gone from 0.09 to 0.4. A number of cars sold has gone from 100 to 539, so very impressive. Fiat themselves, I don't quite know why this has happened. I'm not sure they've actually launched anything new recently, Fiat, but they must have just sold a ton of 500s, because that's the 10th best-selling car of last month, and their sales have increased by 90%. 90%. That's really impressive. It's not actually as impressive as some of the other brands on this list, but it's very good. Their market share has gone from 1.24 to 1.86. The number of cars sold has gone from 1,300 to 2,500. So yeah, very good. But Ford has had a 95% increase in their sales. A 95% increase. That's insane. They have gone from 6.4% of the market last October to last month 10% of the market. I think going down this list, they are going to be the biggest brand. I'm not going to say that 100%, but they probably will be. When you sell 13,300 cars, those are sort of figures that you kind of only really see in maybe kind of like, I don't know, March or September or something. And yet this is October. That's very, very impressive indeed. The last year, just for context, they only sold 6,800 cars in October. Genesis have had 11 100% increase in their sales, but that's only because they've gone from 6 to 72. So yeah, not really the increase like some of the people have had. Honda, they're doing quite well. They are above the market increase, 38% increase in sales. That new Civic's probably responsible. So I really would like to have a go in that new Civic, actually. That'd be really nice if I could have a go in that. They were 1.5% of the market, and now 1.7%. Number of cars sold has gone from 1,600 to 2,200. Hyundai, they've had an increase, but it's nowhere near the level required to keep up with some of these other brands, unfortunately, although they make some good cars. I don't like the look of all of them, but they're good cars nevertheless. 4% increase in market share means that's dropped because it's way below the average increase. So it's gone from 5.1% of the market to 4.2%. Number of cars sold has slightly increased though, from about 5,400 to 5,700. Jaguar, I don't know what's going on at Jaguar. Actually, a bit of contrast to Land Rover we'll come to a bit later. But they've had a 38% decrease. I think they had supply issues or something. I can't remember exactly. But their market share has gone from 0.6 to 0.3. Number of cars sold has almost halved. It's gone from 600 to 375. It's a 38% decrease. Jeep, it's even worse. It's Stellantis brand. Some of them are doing really well, and some of them just clearly aren't. Jeep only sold 100 cars last month. Only 100. I mean, MG, for example, later, we'll just have a preview of their figures, they sold 4,750. So you are, let's get this right, over 400 times more likely to see an MG on the road than you are a Jeep. Not that they compete directly, really, for the most part, but that just shows that, you know, we've decided in this country that that's what they're going to buy. So 63.5% decrease. The market share was 0.26. It's now 0.07. Number of cars sold has gone from 274 to 100. Kia haven't had the best month for some reason. I don't think I remember seeing a single Kia in the top 10 at all, which is really strange for them. They've gone down by 19%, and the market share has dropped from 7% to 4.5. Number of cars sold has dropped from 7,400 to 6,000. Land Rover, in contrast to their colleagues at Jaguar, they have had an increase of 103%. The number of cars sold has gone from 1,600 to about 3,300. Their market share has increased from 1.5 to 2.4, so very good. Lexus is quite good, but not quite keeping up with the general market trend. It's a 14% increase, but because the market's at 24.6, they are have gone from 0.63% of the market to 0.57. Number of cars sold has increased from 672 to 767. Maserati, very small in this country, sadly, in some ways, because some of their cars are very nice, actually. It's 48% decrease. They've gone from 81 cars to 42, and the market share is more than half, from 0.08 to 0.03. Mazda, a good month, actually. Maybe it's due to that new CX-60 that's come out. I'd like to have a go on one of those, actually. So 65% increase. Market share has gone from 1.24 to 1.6. Number of cars sold has gone from 1322 to 2179. Mercedes-Benz, they were very, very popular in this country till a few years ago, and for some reason they fell well below kind of Audi and BMW. I have no idea why. Don't ask me. Very strange. 6,000 cars sold in contrast to 6,900 last October. Market shares really decreased from 6.5 to about 4.5, and that's a 12% decrease overall in the sales. MG, of course, we're getting to know this by now. Bumper month, 103% increase. 2.2% of the market's gone to 3.5, probably because of the MG4. That's been one of my most popular videos on my channel recently, which was recorded end of September. We are actually going to be doing a full review of one of those, and the new facelift MG5 and the facelift ZSEV next month. So I hope you enjoy that. But yeah, so market share's gone from 2.2% to 3.5%. Number of cars sold has gone from 2,300 to 4,750. Mini, despite appearing in the top 10, they've not had the best month ever. Number of cars sold has gone from 4,300 to 3,700. Market share has dropped from 4% to about 2.75%. Its number of cars sold has gone down by 14%. It is. Mitsubishi, I don't know why it's even in the table. Everything's zero. Why is that even there? I'm not sure. Nissan, good month for Nissan actually. Maybe it's that new Ariya that's come in, and also the Qashqai's been selling really well. That's just taken the top spot overall so far this year. We like the Qashqai over here, don't we, viewers? Yeah, the percentage has gone up by 39 in terms of number of cars sold. The market share has gone from 4.6 to 5. Number of cars sold 4,900 to 6,900. And Aura, a new entry in this market. That's probably all the press cars, I imagine, for the Aura Funky Cat. Yes, the Aura Funky Cat. They sold 42 cars last month, or rather, they're manufactured registered 42 cars. I don't think you could even buy one yet. Anyway, Peugeot and Polestar. Let's go Peugeot first then. Peugeot 10.5% increase. Not the best. The market share will drop from 4.8 to 4.2, but number of cars sold has gone up slightly from 5,100 to 5,600. Polestar, same group of brand as Volvo. They have had a very good month actually. A very good month. They've had a 62% increase. The market share has gone from 0.62 to 0.8. Number of cars sold has gone from 700 to just over 1,000. Porsche, not very good. I don't know why particularly. There's no particular reason I can see for them to be down 27% in terms of their sales, but there we go. Their market share has dropped from 1.55% to 0.9. Number of cars sold has gone from 1,650 to 1,207. Renault, yeah, they're doing quite well actually. I think they've got a new car to replace the Kadjar. Is it Kadjar or Kadjar? I don't know. One of the two. Maybe it's Kadjar. That's been discontinued and been replaced by something else, I think. But nevertheless, their market share has held very steady. It was at 2% last year. It's now 2.06. But the number of cars sold has gone up by 30.4%. So from 2,100 to 2,800. And of course, that's above the general rate of the market. So that's very good. So I do apologise to you. I've been saying 24.6%. What I actually meant was 26.4%. I do apologise. That's the accuracy of the information that we have on the channel, or lack of it. Fiat not doing well in this country. I say this everywhere. I don't know what's happened to Fiat over here. I have no idea. It's not going well for them. So they've had a 38% decrease. Their market has dropped from 2.3 to 1.1%. Number of cars sold has gone from 2,500 last October to last month 1,500. Skoda, on the other hand, who use pretty much the same platforms and engines as their colleagues over at Fiat, they've had an 80.4% increase. The market share has gone past Fiat's one. It's gone from 2.15% to 3%. Number of cars sold has gone from 2,300 to 4,100. Smart I'm going to ignore for now because they're pretty much like a new company, and we'll have to see what happens with them. I think they've launched a car called like Smart #1 or something. I think it's literally called Smart #1, which is really weird. Anyway, SsangYong, they've had an increase, but it's not kept up with the market. It's about 9.2%, and the number of cars sold has gone from 152 to 166, which is good, but the market share's gone down from 0.14 to 0.12. Subaru have actually increased their market share very slightly from 0.12 to 0.13. Number of cars sold is very similar to SsangYong. It's gone from 130 to 168. Suzuki have decreased. I don't know why Suzuki seems to be on like a downward spiral at the moment. It's a shame because their cars are pretty good on the whole. They sold 1,001 cars last month. Last October it was 1,274, so the market has gone from 0.12 to 0.75. The number of cars sold has decreased by 21.4. Tesla, the boat's obviously not come in. They're now counted in a separate column here. They sold 11 cars last month, and in October 2021 they sold 16. So that doesn't really count much. They all come in massive batches and all get registered by the UK arm of Tesla together. So it's a bit unusual. Vauxhall pretty much bang on the increase. Their market share has increased by 0 because they've sold 26.4% more cars than last October, which is nice. There's a manufacturer that absolutely represents the overall market trend. So 6,100 has gone up to 7,700. Yeah, that's good. It's a 5.74% market share in both cases. Volkswagen almost outsold Ford, but not quite. Not quite. 41.5% increase in sales. Market share has gone from 8.5 to 9.5. Number of cars sold has gone from 9,000 to 12,800. Very close to Ford's figure. Huge October for Volkswagen. Really, really big. It's many of the Golf, I think, those figures were really running around. So last one, Volvo. Not a great month for Volvo. I don't know why. Their market share has decreased from 4.3% to 2.2%. Number of cars sold has gone from 4,600 to 2,900, and that's a 36% decrease in sales. So there we are, viewers. A 26.4% increase overall, which is good. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching this video. Please don't forget to like this video, to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. If you wish to become a channel member, then you get to see these videos early. Well, don't feel you have to do that. That's entirely up to you. And I'll see you again soon for more not very penetrative market analysis.